What's up, wonderful human? Welcome to Tribe Haven. I'm by name Blessing Wash, and you're welcome to my channel. It's been a hot minute since I recorded and uploaded any video on this channel, and I'm so sorry for that. Last time I was in the middle of a mini series titled Interesting Bible Stories, and I even recorded another episode with Isaac, but unfortunately, I wasn't able to upload it because my phone spoiled and I used my phone to record, and so I lost that footage. And for a while I wasn't able to record. Well, life has been living in general, and now I'm back. Okay, even though the new phone doesn't have enough storage space like the previous one, but we're gonna make do with what we have, right? Life must go on, and this podcast must continue to thrive. And so I'm back for good by the grace of God. So thank you so much for joining me today. I will be picking up from where I stopped. Let me just round it up a bit since I was in the middle of a mini series, Interesting Bible Stories. As I said, let me give you another interesting story from the Bible, which is the story of Samson. And I'll use this story to wrap the series up for now. Of course, there are so many other interesting stories in the Bible, but by the grace of God, somewhere in the future, we're going to pick those stories up and share them and discuss them here on the channel. So for now, let's dive into the story of Samson. The story of Samson has been an interesting one to me because, well, let me not go ahead of myself, but seriously, I wish Samson can just give us an audience in this generation and come and answer some questions, because definitely I have a lot of questions for him. But well, let's just go through his story, and maybe some of my questions will be answered while I share the story with you guys. So the story of Samson started from when his mother was visited by an angel. She saw an angel and he told her that she was going to give birth to a child, even though she was barren. But he told her that now is the appointed time she's going to give birth to a child, and that child will be a special child. She went and told her husband, of course, and the husband was like, "How I wish that man will come again. The man that told you about this will come again and he will say it again, and we can be able to hold his word and see whether God will bring it to pass." And as God will make it, the angel, appeared again to the woman. And when she saw the man, she quickly ran and called her husband and told him, "This is the man that told me." And of course, the angel said those promises to them again. And they were like, "Okay, so now what are we going to do as the parents of this special child? What are we supposed to do?" And something I picked up from there is that it's not just to give birth to a child, but that child has a purpose. And in order for you to be a parent to a child that has a great calling on their life and they're able to fulfill it, there's a part you have to play. So parents and would be parents like myself, it is up to us to look up to God, ask him, what do we need to do? In what capacity do we come in as the parent of this child? It's not just enough for us to give birth to the child. It's not just parenting is not just all about giving birth to the child, but you have a role to play in that child's life in order for the child to fulfill their destiny. And so Samson parents were aware of that, and so they asked the angel, "What are we supposed to do?" And the angel told them, like, the mother should not drink this, should not eat that, and that's all. And when the child comes, of course, no razor should touch his hair. And they did that, and Samson came into being. And who I realized that I'm here to tell you the portion of the Bible where Samson's story is found, right? But I believe you already know, right? But in case you don't know, it's in Judges. So when you go to around chapter 14 of the book of Judges, you'll see that Samson was able to exhibit supernatural strength, and that supernatural strength was associated with the presence of God in his life. He was able to miraculously defeat bunch of men and was able to unalive them, take their possession, and give to his would-be in-laws because they cheated over the riddle he asked them. And so he used his supernatural strength there. So Anywhere you see him exhibiting supernatural strength, it is an evidence of the presence of God, the Spirit of God upon his life. Yeah. So now, where the story gets interesting is when in chapter 16, you see that Samson is coming out from a harlot's place, and then he's still able to exhibit that supernatural strength. Oops, I thought supernatural strength is showing that the Spirit of God is upon him. Then how come this guy is just coming out of a harlot's place and you mean the Spirit of God is upon him? Like, isn't he like filthy or something? And so that really gave me a headache for a while until I realized that there are seven spirits of God. In Revelation chapter 4 verse 5, we get to realize that there's a lampstand, and that lampstand stands for the Spirit of God. That whole stand is the Spirit of God, right? But that lampstand has seven heads, showing the seven dimensions of the Spirit of God. One lampstand with seven heads. So in the New Testament, normally when we hear the Spirit of God, Holy Spirit came upon this person, came upon that person, it's usually the sevenfold Spirit, right? The whole seven dimension. That's what we expect. But in the Old Testament, it's usually one or two or three combination of the spirits, okay? The seven different aspects of the Spirit of God. And so in the case of Samson, it was the spirit of might. Even though in Revelation, the spirits were not named one by one, we're just told the number. When you go to Isaiah chapter 11, verse 2, even down to 3, you'll see that the spirits were mentioned one by one. And among the seven spirits mentioned, you will see the spirit of might. And that was the spirit that was released to Samson. It wasn't the spirit of the fear of God because, oh boy, that guy did not have the fear of God. And yes, the fear of God is a spirit. And so it was the spirit of might that was released upon Samson, and he was able to do all of these miraculous things. Why I picked the story of Samson to share with you guys at this point, other than any other story out there, is because I realized that in this generation, we're suffering from what I call the Samson syndrome. I'll explain what I mean by the Samson syndrome. You know, in this life, all of us have purpose, right? Just like Samson, he came to fulfill a certain purpose. And in order to fulfill your purpose, you can't do it by your own strength. And so God releases his spirit upon you in order to fulfill that purpose in which he has sent you here on earth to fulfill. And so, in the case of Jesus, he had a greater calling to achieve here on earth, and so the whole sevenfold spirits were released upon him. If you go through Isaiah 11 verse 2, you realize, even verse 1, yes, it's talking about someone from the root of Jesse. He's going to bear fruit, and the Spirit of God shall rest upon him. So he's going to bear fruit, right? He's going to fulfill his purpose. And so these seven spirits are being released upon him in order to fulfill that purpose in which he was sent. And so we need to get it clear. In order for you to achieve your purpose, God releases his spirit upon you in order to do so. And whenever that spirit comes upon you, whichever of the spirit is being released upon you, that spirit gives you a gift. And we call that gift of the spirit, right? So we have 9 gifts of the spirit, depending on where you are reading in the Bible. If this in First Corinthians, you'll see 9 gifts of the spirit. If this in Romans, you'll see 7 gifts of the spirit corresponding to the 7 spirits of God, right? So whether 9, whether 7, each of these gifts of the Spirit can be traced back to at least one of the 7 spirits of God. So he gives us according to the purpose in which we have been sent to accomplish. And Paul even said that we should covet the spirits, we should covet the gifts of the Spirit, depending on the one that's very important. So you're meant to covet it, desire it, ask for it. And in this generation, I think if I'm to choose the gifts of the spirit that most of us covet in this generation, I can't pick between the two. Is either Number one will be healing, yeah. And number two will be prophecy. Oh boy, do we love to attend churches that prophecies are being prophesied and they come to pass, and healing is taking place everywhere. Oh my God, you'll be like, this is a living church. This is the church you're supposed to go to, and people are tripping into such churches. And another one of the gifts of the Spirit that we are really crazy about in this generation is the gift of wisdom. And like, if someone is dissecting the word, oh my goodness, it is massaging your logic. That's where you'll see it tripping in. When the person shares from the word, it's like for the first time the doors and windows of your brain are being opened. And it is in such churches that you see a lot of men. A lot of guys love churches that massage their logic, where the word is making sense. The word is wording basically. And you see women in churches where prophecies are being made, and prophecy, you can link it to the spirit of counsel. Okay, so prophecy is meant to guide, direct people into the future, and so is attached to the spirit of counsel, which is the spirit of God, right? Which is one of the seven spirits of God, spirit of counsel. As I say, you can trace back all of these gifts of the spirit to the seven spirits. And we have selected the ones we are craving after in this generation. But where I have concern is that, and where I say that, and why I say that we have the Samson syndrome in this generation, is because you'll see people on the altar speaking in tongues, healing the sick, prophesying, and the prophecies are coming to pass, but they just came out of fornication on Saturday and they're now on church on Sunday, blasting tongues, doing signs and wonders. And the congregation are there feeling like, oh my God, the Spirit of God is here. And whatever that man of God asks them to do, unfortunately, they do it, even if it doesn't make sense, even if it is leading them away from God. Even if what he's telling them to do is a sin, they're going to do it because he healed the sick right before me. It's not a lie. It's not a fake miracle. He actually healed the sick. He made this prophecy and the prophecy came to pass. And so now he's calling you by 9 p.m. to come to his house. And you come. Why? Because he is a man of God. Because when he sings, it's like the host of heaven are singing with him. Because when he preaches the word, he preaches like no other, and you get revelations. So you come. That is the gift of the Spirit, my dear. And the thing is, all you need in order to work for God is the gift of the Spirit. All you need to fulfill your purpose is the gift of the Spirit. But it takes more than that to walk with God. Yep. And it is very important to work with God and not just work for God. Because if you're just working for God and not working with God, your name is not recorded. And so all of your achievements are nowhere, will be nowhere to be found. They will be nowhere to be found because your name is not even in the register to begin with. Whatever you achieve based off on the gift of the Spirit that has been bestowed upon you, it will not be recorded under your name so far as you're not working with God. That's where we begin to find this issue of Matthew 7 verse 22, where people will be saying, I prophesied and the prophecy came to pass all in your name, and God will be like, I do not know you. And God is not a man for him to lie. So truly, truly, he doesn't know them. In the Bible, it is clear how God and us should know people of the kingdom. It's written, by their fruits you shall know them. It's not by their gifts you'll know them, by their fruits. In order to fulfill your purpose, you need the gift. So the gift is being released to everyone, and it is without repentance. It is without repentance. Going back to the story of Samson, the only condition tied to that gift was his hair. And hair is one of the few parts of the body that is so forgiving. You can cut your hair this week, have a bad haircut, and in 2 weeks' time, you can fix it because your hair will grow again. Or maybe in 1 month's time, yeah, you can fix it. The hair is so forgiving. It's to show you how forgiving the gifts of the Spirit are. They are without repentance. They are so forgiving. You can be in sin doing whatever, and the gifts will still be there. And guess what? Here we are on this earth. We're in a business marketplace, and God is the owner of this market. We're selling something, right? He is selling something, right? What is he selling? The kingdom of heaven. He's selling salvation. And we are his agents here on earth. Those of us that are believers, we are the agents here on earth. And who are our customers? The unbelievers. So in order for the customers to be attracted to what we're selling, and for them to even buy it, we need an advertisement plan. And so God gave us gifts as part of that advertisement plan to attract people. That's why when there's healing, there is words of wisdom, there's prophecy in a church, it attracts both believers and unbelievers. Different caliber of people will be tripping in. It is an advertisement plan. Imagine you have a mango tree and it's not that attractive. It's not the most colorful of trees, right? And so you, as the owner, you want people to come to that tree. You decide to like put in some strawberry decorations on it. The decoration is there to attract people, but it has nothing to do with the tree. If that tree refuses to bear fruit, people will be attracted to it. People will come and take shade, and they will get a little comfort from it. And by so doing, it's achieving some of the purpose that the owner wants it to. But the owner will not be happy with that mango tree at the end of the day, because that's not the original purpose that it was being planted. It wasn't. The strawberry decoration was just a way of attracting people to the tree. And then the people are coming to the tree. All they have now is shade and the beauty of the decoration, but the tree is not bearing fruit. That tree stands the risk of not being appreciated by the owner, even though it is still bearing some benefits to the owner and to the people that get attracted to it. So it's the same thing as you and I, we the agents, we that we're working for God, right? It's important for us to bear fruits, because what it takes to work with God is your fruit. What it takes to work for God is just the gifts. And whatever you achieve solely based on the gift is not being recorded under your name. It's on the house. It's like you get into a restaurant and the bills for that day are on the house. Like the bill is on the house. The bill is not recorded under your name. And so another example I would like to give is, let's say there's a tournament, people are supposed to race, and the person that comes first will go home with gold medal, right? And well, for one reason or the other, you were not registered among those that will be participating on that race. But then you showed up and you ran and you crossed the finishing line first. Guess what? You've given the audience a great show. They're entertained. Bloggers will have a field day talking about you. And the organizers of that tournament will benefit as a result of that. But guess who is not going to benefit? You. You're not going to go home with the gold medal. Yeah, because your name was not registered and you were just a volunteer. Basically, you just volunteered yourself to run and give them a good show, but your name is not on the register, so you cannot be given the reward. And so now, because the only way your name will be written and for you to be known and recognized as a participant in this race or in this business that we're doing for the kingdom, it's by your fruit. And take note that I'm saying fruit like singular, not fruit. Fruit of the Spirit is by the fruit of the Spirit that you bear. And the fruit of the Spirit is one with 9 different layers to it. So it's the fruit that we is by your fruit that we shall know you, because your fruit registers you into the company. Without the fruit, you're just a volunteer staff. And guess what? Volunteer staff, they get all they get at the end of the day is peanuts. They're not entitled to much. So you have a little recognition here on earth. You sing wonderfully. You're using your gift. You're working for the kingdom, but you don't have the fruits. You get some recognition here or there. You get money as a result of that recognition. But that's it. That's your reward. At the end of the day, God will be like, I do not know you. You are not a registered worker here. And quite unfortunately, so many pastors, so many church workers are just volunteer staff. They're not registered workers in the kingdom. Just like Samson, he allowed his gift to distract him. All he had was the gift, and he was working for God with that gift. Even the devil works for God. That's just the truth. When he instigated people to crucify Jesus, he was working for God. So anyone can work for God. You can volunteer. God uses us all because He's God. But for you to benefit from the work you're doing for Him, you have to be a registered staff. Period. You don't want what happened to Samson to happen to you, because no matter the level of greatness you achieve in life, just based off of your gifts, somehow is always going to lead you to destruction. Is always going to end in tragedy. In the story of Samson, he did all these great exploits. If you go through this story, you'll see that there was a time he climbed up a hill, and the people of Philistine, they came, they were rounding about, and they were terrorizing the city, the people of that place. And the people were like, we're going to get him for you, please don't destroy us. And they went up, they met Samson, they said, see, we're going to bundle you and take you back to these people. You went and caused trouble. What were you thinking when you were causing that trouble? We're going to bundle you and take it back to them. And he was like, okay, if it is just to take me there, you can bundle me. They bundled him, they took him there, and then he now showed his strength again and destroyed those people. And he was fulfilling his purpose, right? Fulfilling his purpose, but he wasn't working with God. One point that I almost forgot that Father made to include it here about the story of Samson was that even his love life was also part of God's plan. How he was interested in the Philistine ladies, he wasn't into the Israelites. Like, they were not his type at all. It was the Philistines that were his type. And his parents did not understand it. And they were like, they don't have a choice than to follow him like that. And it was recorded that God was seeking an occasion to deal with the Philistines. That was why he allowed Samson to be interested in such a set of people rather than the Israelites. And it reminds me of today's generation, where some people will have to date this. Okay, everybody has their type, right? Well, some people don't have a specific type, which is okay. But some people have types, and you'll be wondering, like, why are this set of people my type? Not everyone that's your type that you're going to be in a relationship with and end up marrying the person, but maybe there's something God wants you to learn. That's why He made such people your type. This on a lighter note, trust me, don't take it too seriously, but it's part of the interesting things in the story of Samson anyway, so you can look into that. And back to our main discussion. So he was just relying on the gift of the Spirit that was released upon him. And later on, like, oh my goodness, because he had no fruit of the Spirit, he had no self-control, because that's the first layer of the fruit of the Spirit. Don't get me started. I want to even start going deep on that fruit of the Spirit. Give me a minute. Let me really talk on the fruit of the Spirit really quick. So now I quickly picked a mango that I have here with me. Let's say this is the fruit of the Spirit. This is a mango fruit, a singular fruit, right? But here we have the skin. And then when I cut the skin, I have to cut it before I get access to the juicy part that we like, right? The succulent part that we all take. Well, try and take it with the back as well. It balances everything. And so after the succulent part, you get the hard part, but that's not really the seed. The hard part is covering the seed. The seed is usually very smooth and not that hard. And so if you're someone that makes mango butter, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So but everything here is the fruit, mango fruit. But unlike this mango fruit, when it comes to the fruit of the spirit, it doesn't have just three layers covering the inner seed. You know, it's from the seed that the whole thing will come out. If you planted the seed, it will bear the whole mango tree and more fruits will come out, right? So, unlike this mango fruit that has about three layers covering the real seed, when it comes to the fruit of the spirit, we have about eight layers covering the real seed, and the real seed is love. Yeah, love. And if you realize, Samson was just chasing love, and you can almost see that love was his downfall because the laughs of Delilah brought him to his knees and his end, right? And he was chasing love. And boy, oh boy, do we love love in this generation. We're chasing after love. Any show that's about love, look at the views. It is always trending. And we really love love. But is it real love we're chasing? Because love is the seed of the fruit of the spirit, is the greatest of all. From that, you can get all of the layers because from the inner seed, the whole tree, the whole mango tree will come out. But before you get into that inner core, the seed, you have to first of all be able to scratch or peel this first layer. And the first layer in the fruit of the spirit is what? Self control. Quote me anywhere. Without self control, whatever you get is not love. Call it lust or whatever, but it's definitely not love. Here we are in a generation where people sleep with each other on first date. Are we really looking for love? That's why I say we're suffering from a Samson pandemic. Samson was really looking for love. No wonder his first bride to be did not end up marrying him. She married his she made, or is it best man? Best man, yes. She ended up marrying his best man. What a betrayal. And all the ladies couldn't just say no directly to him. Like they see him six packs. Oh my goodness. 6 foot tall, I'm sure. Tall, dark, and handsome. Or just tall and handsome. In some cases, it mustn't be that because it can be tall, fair, and handsome. So whatever, he was handsome and the ladies couldn't resist him directly. But when it comes to true love, like settling down, getting married, like ooh, she ditched him for his best man. And that made him super angry. That was why he went and destroyed whatever he destroyed. And he caused more problem for himself. And the children of Israel were like, we're bundling you to them. You went and looked for their trouble. Go and handle it. Yep. And so we're chasing true love, right? Just like Samson. All right. Do you have self-control? That's the first layer. You have no business. You can just never get into the seed if you cannot, first of all, peel this first layer. Forget it. And then when you go up the ladder, you see gentleness. How many people are gentle these days? And then what? You see faithfulness. If you don't have self-control, how can you even be faithful? If you are to look at this fruit of the spirit, they're in Galatians, by the way. I'll just brush them over in this particular episode. So there's no way you can be faithful to your partner if you don't have self-control, which is the first layer. If you're to look at the different layers of the fruit of the spirit, you realize that they are in a chronological order. Yes, they started with love, which is the inner seed, and then they went over the layers. And the last one, as I said, the skin of everything, the covering, the outer layer is self-control. So before you can even be faithful to your partner, you have to first of all have self-control and you have to be gentle. And then we're in a generation where unfaithfulness is like the norm now. Unfaithfulness in marriages, in relationships, is like the norm. And let me talk about that of marriage. Why wouldn't you cheat on your partner when you were supposed to be building that skill of self-control during your single phase? You did not. You were busy sleeping with your partner because though we're going to get married. You are going to get married to the person. That doesn't mean you shouldn't hold yourself. That doesn't mean that you shouldn't still exhibit self-control. You exhibiting self-control now over a person that you are very much attracted to will help you develop that muscle of self-control so that when you get married to her and you see someone that you're attracted to, because trust me, she's not going to be the only person you're going to be attracted to. That's one illusion some people have, or is it delusion? One delusion many people have. They think like, once I marry the love of my life, my soulmate, my true love, I'm not going to be attracted to any other person. You lie. That is a fallacy. And the thing is, when you're still dating them, you're very much attracted to them. That's the best time to develop that muscle of self control so that when you finally marry them, you can be faithful to them. And so, self control, gentleness, faithfulness. And then when you go up the ladder, you'll see kindness and all the gentleness, right? Gentleness, I said, kindness, meekness, and then you find, patience. Hoo, hoo, hoo. Boy, are we not so impatient in this generation? We are impatient like whatever. We are very impatient. There are so many people in the church that did not end up marrying the right person, did not end up getting true love, marrying true love, not because they lacked self control, not because they were not gentle, not because they are not faithful. They're still faithful to their partner, but there's still chaos and there's no true love because they were not patient. And unfortunately, we're in a generation where we think we have a set timeline for everyone to get married. And if you are not married in that set timeline, even if you're trying to be okay and calm about it, people around you will make you anxious. They'll find a way to make you anxious about it. And you get impatient at the end of the day. And that makes you to settle for someone that is not in the category of true love. Not because you lack self control. And so it's very important for us to be patient if true love is what we are really going for. Without patience, you cannot get into true love. And you're just a few steps away, trust me. So be patient. After patience, you get peace. There's no way you can have peace if you're not patient. I told you they're in a chronological order, right? Without patience, you cannot have peace. And without peace, you cannot have joy. You have to be at peace with yourself, at peace with the fact that you're single, at peace with the fact that this is your reality. Be at peace with yourself, and then you can find true love because you need to be at peace in order for you to have joy. And without joy, have you ever been with someone that lacks joy? If you're in Nigeria, it's very easy. Just enter the market. A lot of people lack peace, and so they lack joy. And it takes just a little to get them upset, and they'll start blabbing, cursing you, trying to hurt you. In fact, if you're not careful, well, not everyone even meet those people that lack peace, right? And lack joy. So you don't want to be that person around the person you are trying to build a life with. Because without joy, the thing is, true love can be standing right in front of you. Joy is the next step is love, right? True love can be standing right in front of you, but you cannot be able to accept it. You cannot be able to receive it. You cannot be able to enjoy it, appreciate it. Your partner or partner to be will be pouring all and all their all, but it will still not be enough for you. You have to be at peace with yourself. Make yourself happy. Find peace in yourself. Be joyful. No one can make you happy. They can try, but that's an unnecessary burden or an unrealistic expectation placed on them. And no matter how hard they try, they cannot be able to fill your cup when you have not done your own part. There's a part for you to play, there's a part for them to play. So you need joy and all of that. We can We can talk more on this on love, but remember we're talking on Samson, right? So Samson definitely did not have self-control. That's why. Tell me why. This lady you claim you're in love with, Delilah, she was asking for the secret of your strength. You told her the lie, the first lie. She executed it. My guy, is that not a sign? She still asked again. You told her another lie, and she still executed it. Like, at this point, you should know that you should run away for your life. But for one reason or the other, well, the Bible said his soul was vexed. I don't know the level of vexing that will make me spill my secret to someone that I know that they're definitely going to carry it out and use it against me. But Samson went ahead and told her the real truth. I heard that there's something about men that when they are going through country, if you're in Nigerian, you know what country means. And like they're ready to do whatever. They're ready to do whatever just to get satisfied. But once they get satisfied, it's like clarity. They now get a level of clarity that they'll be like, oh, that was stupid. And that's why after they get the girl, they start to treat her like trash because now they have clarity. But before getting what they want, they were ready to do anything just to let go of the country. If you have self-control, you'll not allow country to make you destroy your destiny. Like Samson was ready to destroy his destiny, like let go of his calling, as a matter of fact, because that was the purpose of his life, to deliver Israel from the hands of the Philistines. And it is for that reason that that spirit was released upon him. And the gift of that spirit is might, right? His strength. He was ready to let go of all of that just for what? Just for country. Lack of self-control, and he is claiming to be with someone he loves. You have not scratched the skin and you're talking about getting access to the seed? No. That's the least hanging fruit. Self-control. You cannot pluck the least hanging fruit. You're looking for the one that's at the topmost layer of the tree. Like, come on, boy. And if you check the Bible, an opposite character of Samson in the Bible is Joseph. Joseph also had a calling to save his family, which is Israel and also Egypt, right? And the difference between Joseph and Samson is that Joseph had the fruit of the Spirit. He had love. For the love of God and for the love of his master, he did not sleep with Potiphar. He had the gift of the Spirit, come on. And it was the gift that attracted Potiphar's wife to him in the first place. I told you the gift is an advertisement plan. It's meant to attract people. It's going to attract a lot of different people, all caliber of people. So you should be careful. You, the bearer of the gift, you should be careful. It's going to attract people, and even those with ill intentions. And Potiphar's wife was one of them. She came, she was attracted by the gift. Everything he did, he was prospering like a smart guy, ooh, genius. And she wanted some piece of that genius, right? He was good looking and all. But because of the love he had for God and for his master, he did not run, he flee. And remember, love is the summary of the fruit of the Spirit. Love doesn't exist in isolation. That's one mistake we make in this generation. It does not exist in isolation. It is a fruit. The first layer being self-control, and Joseph had that. And so he was able to flee and he was at peace. He wasn't troubled like, oh, what if she set a trap and she lies about everything and she turns everything on me? When it comes to my word against hers, of course they're going to believe her word. He did not allow that to scare him from fleeing and doing the right thing. And a lot of people in this generation will allow fear. Fear of what this person would do. You know that they are calling you or calling you by 9 p.m. to go and do something ungodly. Your papa or whatever, man of God in your church, is calling you By 9 p.m., you're there in his house. You're doing what? He's a man of God. Okay. He's now making sexual advances at you. You're not hitting his hand. You're not running away. Why? He's the man of God. He is not even a child of God. Talk more of a man of God. And maybe you begin to realize that, oh, this is not characteristics of a man of God, but you're scared to like really push his hand, hit his hand, or hurt him because of what he can do, because of the power he holds. And so you just comply. Like, what are you compared to him? Like, he can destroy you any day or minute. In this Nigeria, we have a lot of powerful men. Like, the law is even beneath them. They are above the law. And you're like, if they ask you to do something that's bad, you will just do it because who are you? Like, you're not afraid. There's no fear in love. There is no fear in love. Because of the love Joseph had, he was able to flee. He had no anxiety. He was at peace. Whatever will happen should happen. He is at peace with his decision. And at the end of the day, even though he entered into trouble, he was still delivered. I tell you, any trouble you enter as a result of you bearing fruits of the Spirit, that trouble will end up leading to a higher elevation. This channel is Thrive Haven, is leading you into a higher level of thriving. But every trouble you run away from by compromising and discarding and throwing away the fruit of the Spirit, whatever success you achieve as a result of that, whatever comfort you achieve as a result of that, will always lead to tragedy at the end of the day, just like with Samson. Because his story, even though he was able to deliver Israel to a certain level, his success was attached to his tragedy. He died in the process. What of Joseph, the opposite character? Because he flew away, both of them had that same temptation of sexual immorality, and we all will be tempted in that area. Trust me. But so many people are falling. Pastors, choir directors, church workers, church members, a lot of people are falling due to lack of the fruit of the Spirit. And so, whatever trouble you enter as a result of you holding on to the fruit of the Spirit is going to leave you, is just going to lead you to a higher height of thriving, of success. And that's on period. So, Joseph achieved his purpose at the end of the day and he lived to enjoy it. And that's what you desire, right? So, look at his example and pick a lesson, and look at Samson example and pick a lesson from there. From that, I know you will prioritize bearing the fruit of the Spirit a lot, because as I said, whatever you do working for God, so far as you're not working with Him, it's not going to be recorded under your name, and God forbid. But the thing is that in this generation, the devil has cooked a lot of lies, he has dished it out, and a lot of youths, a lot of people are eating it. This generation, people are looking for love, right? As I said, love is the in thing, but self-discipline, self-control is out the window. Like, they're like, I have to sleep with him to show him that I love him. You mean sleeping with a person is now a proof of love? That's a lie. And the guys will be like, sexual compatibility is a big thing. A lot of divorces are happening due to sexual incompatibility. And after that, they feel like it's a mic drop moment. I laugh. Who told you that this person that you're sexually compatible with right now, you're going to be compatible with them in the next 5 years? Let's not go to 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. You forget that marriage is a lifelong institution. It's not just a short-term thing. How sure are you that their libido level will still be the same? Libido levels change. A libido level that is high can go low. So also a libido level that is low can go high. That's just it. People say love is not enough. You have to be sexually compatible with the person. Love has always been enough, and it will always be enough. The reason why your love is not enough is because it's not real love to begin with. Whatever you get outside of self-control is not love. Call it whatever you want to call it, but it's definitely ain't love. So love, real love, is always enough. What you have is not enough because it's not real love. And so if you truly love a person, you'll realize that even if you're not sexually compatible at the beginning of the marriage, you will be willing to work with them through it. First of all, what causes libido levels to fluctuate, whether like to go down? There are two major reasons. I would like to even say two only reasons, but to be politically correct, let me say two major reasons. One is sickness, hormonal imbalance to be specific. If a woman, and these days a lot of women are hormonally imbalanced, if a woman is hormonally imbalanced, she's not going to have a high libido that period. So it takes true love from her partner to be able to work with her through it, create a stress-free environment, because cortisol, being the stress hormone, is the major leading cause of hormonal imbalance in a lot of women. Women are doing what they are not supposed to be doing because of the economy and so much stress, and cortisol is on the high. And also, insulin is another thing because of our diet. We're eating a lot of sugars. Insulin is off. It makes the rest to be off too. Estrogen and progesterone will also be off. And so, work with your partner to provide the right food in the house. Eat right. Remove stressors. Make her feel relaxed, comfortable, and know that you got her. You're not going to disappear on her. And walk her out of that sickness. The vows before used to be in sickness and health. I don't know whether it's still the same. If there's true love, you're going to walk with that person through that sickness into health. And then the person's libido level will be right where you want it to be, even after 5 years. Right? And the next reason is trauma. Maybe the person was raped or faced another form of sexual abuse. Definitely they'll be traumatized by you trying to initiate anything now, because their brain will just be remembering what happened, and the alarms will be going off, the body will be super tight, and you're supposed to walk with them through therapy. You need to be gentle, patient with them. That is love. All of those layers of that are covering the real seed, which is love. Shower your partner with that and see whether you're not going to walk them out of that hormonal imbalance, out of that trauma. You're going to do that, and then their libido level will be right where it's supposed to be, and you'll be compatible. I don't understand the thing myself in this generation. It's like 1 minute you're praying and you believe God will hear you and answer your prayer and bless you with life partner. The next minute you're not really sure that God really knows what you're saying when He said the bed should be undefiled. Like, pick your battle, choose you this day what you believe in. Do you believe in God or not? How come you believe that He's going to answer your prayer, like hear you and answer it, but you don't believe He knows what He was saying when He said, do not sleep with someone if you're not married to them? Like, are we playing here? Like, be serious. Stop wasting our time. Stop wasting your time also. Just choose whether you believe Him or not. Seriously, at this point. And the devil has been using this to really make a lot of people, even in the church, get into this fornication and throw away self-control, while we are claiming that we're looking for true love. We are unable to even scratch the first layer. How can we get access to the real seed? And we have Samson pandemic everywhere. People standing in front, working for God powerfully. We're seeing charismatic churches everywhere. People displaying various gifts of the Spirit, but no fruit. No fruit. And it's super dangerous to the congregation and to the people bearing the fruits, because the fruits can easily deceive you into believing God is with you, whereas He's not, only for you to end up saying, God, I did this in your name, and He's like, I do not know you. And others in the congregation will be deceived, thinking that God is with you and you are leading them astray, and they'll still be following like Momo, because they're seeing all of these gifts. They are being carried away by the gifts. You see scandals, this pastor slept with this member, this actress, whatsoever, but people are still going to the church. People are still calling him Papa, and he's still standing on the pulpit to preach. Well, the church is no man's house, it's the house of God. You can go to the church, but that man is not supposed to be climbing the pulpit to preach. He should sit down and try and start a relationship with God, start walking with God, not just walking for God. But no, The devil keeps dishing out things and we keep eating. And in with my previous example that I said, people are saying that you have to know whether you're compatible with the person sexually or not before you get married to them. And people have eaten that up. So now both people in the church, people outside the church, they're sleeping with each other's first, they're in a relationship. In fact, if you're dating someone and you have not slept with them, they consider it as friendship. You're not in a relationship, you're not dating, you're just friends. That's how bad it has gotten. So now, okay, everybody is coming with their A game into the marriage. There's no room for growth again. Growing together, come with your A game. Okay, we have come with our A game. What next? After a few years, everyone gets bored. And now the devil is selling another thing. Threesome. You're bringing another person. I thought your A games are enough. No. Why bringing another person? But they're eating that lie up. Now, after a few years, that one they'll be bored with it. The devil will cook another thing and they will buy it and eat it up. Unless you and I, from today, we start making a difference. We choose to have this discussion in our Bible study groups. We have this discussion among our friend groups and we begin to live it as our lifestyle so that people that think it's impossible, because for a fact, some people think it's impossible to be free from sexual immorality. They believe like it is just impossible. Make it known to them, like through your lifestyle. It's not as if you're going to be talking to them and telling them through your lifestyle, let them see that it's possible. And once they see that it's possible, they'll be encouraged, because some people will be like, why bother myself? Why bother abstaining now when I know I'll definitely fall for it tomorrow or in a year's time or 2 years' time? I might as well just do it now. But if they see that, hey, this sister has been keeping herself for years and years and years, they believe that it's possible. I'll make the choice to keep myself today. And when tomorrow becomes today, I'll still choose to keep myself. And before you know it, 10 years will pass by and they're still standing strong. So let you and I begin to bear fruit. Let our fruits bear testimonies. And let our work for God be registered under our name, because we've chosen to bear fruit of the Spirit. Well, I have talked and talked and talked. Let me just say that today's episode was inspired by the story of Samson rather than saying it is all about the story of Samson, because truth be told, we've gone to Joseph, we've gone to who and who and who not. Even you and your pastor, we've talked about all of you guys. So before I round up, let me just, I feel a burden to say this. I've said it a little bit, but let me press and I promise you will be done. If you are looking to do something, you believe that that's your calling, that's your purpose here on earth, but you're finding it difficult, add this to the list of things you are to do. Look at the Bible, the Isaiah 11, where the spirits of God were listed, the seven spirits. See the one that's best related to that particular thing you want to achieve, that particular purpose in your life. Is it the spirit of might? Is it understanding, wisdom? Whatever spirit, look at it and ask God for it. As I said, Paul said we should covet it, we should desire it, ask for it, because it is the spirit that gives the gift, right? So whichever gift of the spirit that is in line with what you want to do, know that that gift is attached to a spirit, right? See that spirit and ask for it. Like in the case of Elijah, there was a spirit attached to the purpose he was meant to achieve here on earth. That's why that same spirit was released upon John the Baptist, because John the Baptist had a similar purpose to achieve. Their purpose, both of them, was to connect or redirect the hearts of the people back to God, and also direct the hearts of the fathers to the children. And that thing also interests me. Like, it's important in God's sight for the heart of fathers to be on their children. And see what the devil is doing in this generation. He's distracting a lot of fathers, making them look at women outside and their minds will be totally away from their kids. Like, the whole purpose of marriage is for the two parents to train the children in the right way, just as the parents of Samson. There was a role for them to play, but Parents these days, they're being distracted. I digress. So there's a spirit and behind every purpose. And in the Bible, it's written that John the Baptist came in the spirit of Elijah. So there's a spirit behind every purpose, and you should ask for that spirit. Whatever you realize that is your purpose in life, ask for the release of that spirit upon you. And it's important for you to see the vision for yourself. In the case of Samson, it was his parents that were told about his greatness. He didn't have to do much. His mother was asked to not drink wine, not eat any unclean thing. All he had to do was not cut his hair. But in the case of Joseph, he saw the vision for himself. He was the one that saw the dream that he was going to be great. His siblings were bowing down to him. And he put in the effort into working with God. So it's very important to see the vision for yourself, and when you see it, desire the spirit, ask for it. But while you're doing that, always work on cultivating the fruit of the spirit, because the fruit of the spirit, it takes time to cultivate it. It's not given instantaneously like the gifts of the spirit. So I hope we're gonna have better churches filled with the fruits of the spirit, not just the gifts of the spirit, and nobody will be led astray. The gifts carrier and the people that get attracted by the gift. And don't get me wrong, it's not a crime to use your gift. I did not say that. This is a disclaimer. I did not say that. Remember the parable of the talent? Yeah, you can call it talent, you can call it skills, you can call it gifts. The master gave it to them. Some have one gift, some have five gifts. And those that used their gifts, the master said, good and faithful servant, right? And the one that did not use his gift, he was like, depart from me, wicked servant. So it's wicked of you to not use your gift. Use your gift. And as a matter of fact, I'll argue that that one servant that did not use his gift, he lacked the fruit of the spirit. That's why he did not use his gift. If you check the Bible, you see that the reason why he did not use his gift was because he was afraid of his master. Fear doesn't have a place in love. There's no fear in love. And as I said, love is the summary of the fruit of the spirit. So in summary, you can say he lacked the fruit of the spirit. The fruit of the spirit will always lead you into using the gift of the spirit, but the gift of the spirit can deceive you away from the fruit of the spirit. That's why you should be cautious. That's why we're having this discussion. And if you made it up to this point, congratulations, you have a great attention span, and I appreciate your dedication so much. I pray that God will release His Spirit upon you that will enable you to fulfill your purpose here on earth, and He will help you in building the fruit of the Spirit, and you will never throw it away at any point in your life. And at the end of the day, you'll get your reward. I'll get my reward. You'll get your reward. That's my prayer for all of us now. And until next time, why only succeed when you can thrive? Bye. Before you go, please like the video, share it with someone, subscribe. That's your way of supporting the channel. Thank you for doing so. Bye bye.